The new moon in Pisces is coming on the 27th of February 2025, and I'm here to help you use it to make your dreams come true. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Hannah and welcome back, Cosmic Warriors. Before we do dive into today's video, if you would like to learn more about astrology, then head on over to the Cosmic Check-In podcast. And if you would like to book a reading with me, then you can go to hannahselsewhere.com. And I also want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Astopia. Make sure to keep watching to learn more about Astopia. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's do this. Alright, so the sun and moon will be joining together in the mysterious and esoteric sign of Pisces at 9 degrees, this Sagittarius degree. Therefore, this is a new moon of hope, optimism, and sharing our knowledge with the world. A time to explore the depths of our emotions with great curiosity and truth. Now, the new moon will also take place within the Neptune decan, pointing to escapism, dissolving boundaries, and transcendence, which is interesting because we are coming from the full moon in Leo, which took place on the 12th of February. The full moon in Leo was a time to really address our ego and our individuality, our self-expression. We were called to be confident and authentic. And here we arrive at the new moon in Pisces, a moon of sacrifice, surrender, and healing, exploring our hidden selves, the parts we don't show, or how our unconscious can sometimes really lead to our self-undoing. Under this new moon, we will set new intentions related to our dreams and fantasies, related to spirituality and inner knowing. Hey, related to our sensitivity and our intuition. What is your dream? Can you visualize it? Maybe it's to become a parent, or it's to land your dream job, or it's to be successful within your chosen field. Whatever it is, when you close your eyes, what do you see? What does your vision say? How does it look? Do you see colors, writing, people, shadows? Your imagination can take you to incredible places if you let it. However, often our imagination is limited. It's blocked because we think certain ideas or stories are silly. They are not doable. So no point in dreaming about them. Our environment can also limit us. We can distract ourselves, turning to much easier ways of spending our time, things that don't really require a lot of thought or creativity. I even just think about the relationship we have with social media in this way. And whilst, yes, it is important to not get carried away by a fantasy, by unattainable expectations, exploring your imagination can have many benefits. For example, your creativity can be improved, you can increase your problem-solving skills, you can enhance your memory and mental flexibility. Heck, imagination can help relieve stress and help us be more empathetic. There is a blissfulness to our imagination, a kind of healthy escapism. Think back to when you were a child, times when you used to really use your imagination more strongly, to have fun, to play. Think about your imaginary friend if you had one, the stories you made up, the ways you would engage in pretend play. Using your imagination can even help you when you're bored. Think about all of the famous writers, poets, storytellers, musicians that you know, or the popular works that came from such people. Think about Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Peter Rabbit, Winnie the Pooh, songs by artists like David Bowie, Prince, the Beatles. Imagination helps us tap into the things that are possible. Our creativity involves imagination. It also involves emotion and experience. Now, with Mercury also in Pisces during the new moon, we are invited to visualize, to fantasize, to allow our minds to wander. We can do this by relaxing the body. Hey, relaxing our mind, stillness within, right? Listening to calming music, painting, writing, by doing activities that are more passive. Indeed, this is also about allowing the mind to flow freely, to see where it takes you. Daydreaming becomes heightened. Perhaps around the new moon, a good way to spend it is by heading to the cinema, listening to your favorite music, going for a massage, lighting some candles, or attending a yoga class. Or perhaps by exploring the Astopia app. Astopia is an astrology app that lets you read your stars with ease. What is great about the Astopia app is how you get monthly previews catered to you based on your chart. There are tips about the cosmic events ahead. Yes, Astopia provides horoscopes, birth chart analysis, and compatibility interpretations that are personalized. And the layout of the app is seamless. You even get a daily affirmation, which I think is a really nice touch, plus educational resources. To download the Astopia app, go to the link in the description box. Thank you so much to Astopia for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so with the North Node in Pisces conjunct Neptune under the new moon, we are further supported during the new moon in Pisces to develop our imagination and creativity. At the same time, the South Node in Virgo provides us with some structure, planning, right? For example, perhaps your dream needs a plan. It needs a practical plan. And so during the new moon in Pisces, you could create an action plan. You could try writing down what it is that you want to achieve. You could try typing it out. So what are your dreams? Write them down, type it out. Small steps here. Break things down. Try also and not overcomplicate things. Make short-term goals. This is about small, consistent changes that can build and grow. Also, try and focus on desire. Do you truly desire the dream? Is it something you truly feel called towards? Also, make your environment align with your dream. If you want to stop smoking, for example, it doesn't make sense to have cigarettes in your house. Or if your dream is to maybe get into shape, work out, try setting out your gym clothes the night before. I know that's what I do. Now, as time goes on, review where you're at. See what works and also what doesn't work as well. You can make adjustments, but continue to visualize being successful. Learn from your setbacks and from your failures instead of seeing them as a way to just give up. And oh my goodness, believe in yourself, says Pisces. Believing in yourself requires trust, confidence, and resilience. Instead of focusing on obstacles, see them as opportunities for growth. Come up with solutions. See that certain sacrifices may also need to be made when it comes to following your dreams. Now, whilst the modern day ruler of Pisces conjuncts the North Node during the new moon, the traditional ruler of Pisces is still in Gemini, creating a square to the new moon. And so here we do see a challenge tied to overconsumption, overthinking, restlessness, nervousness, possibly worrying or jumping to conclusions. And like I said in the Pisces season video, try and use Jupiter as a way to tap into your imagination by using tools like games, problem solving, writing, reading, learning. Now, we can also think of Jupiter in Gemini as a fact finder, as a researcher, as a messenger, as an evidence seeker. So thinking about your dream, right? Perhaps you can gather more information and facts about it, or you can be detailed about your vision. If you are enjoying this video so far, then please be sure to give it a like and to subscribe for more. And if you're interested in picking up a copy of my astrology cheat sheets to help you read your birth chart more simply, then you can go to the link in the description. Thank you so, so much. Moreover, with Jupiter creating a sextile with Venus in Aries, many of us may make bold moves, or we may feel extra confident about our path, as if we can do it. Mars is also direct in Cancer, creating a trine to both Saturn and Mercury, meaning we may be feeling a greater call to take action with mental discipline. We can use mental fortitude and emotional strength to follow our dreams. Use the lessons of Mars retrograde in Cancer, such as responsive action and emotional bravery, as you set intentions under the new moon. Also, the pretty exciting thing, or perhaps the chaotic thing about this new moon, is the Uranus sextile to Pisces. You could be in for a creative surprise. Maybe something that feels so unbelievable happens, like a pinch me moment or an enlightening moment, as if you're being sort of shaken out of an illusion, as you see things in a flash. You see things for what they are, perhaps too, to an extent. Your dream life could very well feel real. And if you find yourself spiraling or feeling overwhelmed by your emotions or by sadness especially, perhaps Uranus points to an awakening moment like, what am I doing? How is this really serving me? Enough, it's time to make a change. And that change could very well shock or jolt you. So it could be that shock or jolt that you need, really, to push yourself outside of this victimhood mentality. Now, another challenge will come up 9 months later. So 9 months from the new moon in Pisces takes place. So that will be when the first quarter moon in Pisces occurs at the end of November 2025. It'll be Sagittarius season at that point. So the challenge will be tied to abundance, prosperity, or thinking the grass is greener. And then by the end of August 2026, the lunar eclipse in Pisces will take place, inviting a mighty and powerful release. How remarkable, because that will be an eclipse, and the eclipse highlights notable events. Who knows, the very intentions you set under the new moon tied to your dreams, well, by the time the lunar eclipse in Pisces occurs, you just might sit in the world you visualized for so long. It won't be a dream anymore. It'll be a reality. And hey, even if you learn throughout your journey that a certain dream no longer aligns with you, or hey, you know what, maybe it's not as obtainable as you thought, that's okay. You can use the eclipse in Pisces as an opportunity to let go, to make peace with a situation. It's all a mystery, and that's the beauty. Ultimately, the new moon in Pisces asks us to listen to our inner guide, have faith, to allow things to develop and unfold, and to be open to new possibilities and visions, to look beyond the obvious and welcome a part of the shadow we never knew existed. Okay, so now let's move on to your horoscopes, and thank you so much for watching. First up then we have Aries. Aries, the dream for you under this new moon in Pisces, I think, is a lot about healing, recovery, health, getting better. Yep. Perhaps letting go of a previous version of yourself, so to speak. Growth, emotional growth, spiritual wisdom in many respects as well. So yes, this is the dream. And with the sextile to Uranus in your second house under the new moon, you could be surprised. You could be surprised by self-worth breakthroughs. You could be surprised by financial breakthroughs. And there could be some sort of significant change, room for growth, room to really make a change when it comes to your inner security, but also your physical security, Aries. Now, a challenging point is about how you communicate, because Jupiter is making this square. Yes, there is a challenge about communication, overthinking a situation maybe, overcomplicating things when it comes to your studies, communication. And at the same time, I'm also going to say with Mars, your ruler, now being direct in your 4th, right? And there's those significant connections to your 12th. Emotionally, I feel like you're ready to move on from a situation. Thank you, Aries. And now on to Taurus. Okay, so Taurus, the new moon in Pisces will happen in your 11th house. So the dream for you, Taurus, could be about organizations you're a part of, companies you join up with, networking. It could be tied to friendships, communities, groups, teams, causes. Wanting to connect, maybe wanting to be part of something bigger than yourself, contributing to the group, contributing to the club, the team. And with Uranus also connecting with this new moon, you could be surprised by certain changes to your appearance, certain ways that you introduce yourself. Could be major sort of self-worth upgrades tied to your identity, your body. Yes, how you come across could surprise you. And maybe a part of that is tied in with, again, friendships and groups. Now, there is a challenging point to the 2nd house. So if we think about how the dream for you is possibly also linked to your dreams for the future, right? Your future hopes, your future visions here. Maybe Jupiter in the 2nd house is trying to communicate something here about overextending yourself or overconsumption, or how you might take things too far, right? And so maybe there is a part of this where you're having to be a bit more mindful or logical about your resources or your spending habits, Taurus. Though I will also say that with your ruler being in your 12th under the new moon, pamper yourself. Maybe this is about pampering yourself, being kind to yourself, spending some time in solitude. Thank you, Taurus. And now on to Gemini. So Gemini, the new moon will happen in your 10th house. So the dream for you, right? This dream is about career. It's about success. It's about being accomplished, establishing yourself, maybe being recognized for what you offer the world. Maybe also it's about just being freely giving, giving and charitable and loving toward other people within your field, within your profession, Gemini. And we also see here that Uranus is connecting with this new moon. And so we could see this as surprising internal shifts, maybe changes, breakthroughs tied to your inner world that could influence and play a role in how you see your outer world, how you see the professional stuff. There could be something that you innovate behind the scenes, for example. Material-wise, could be something tied to your spirituality, your spiritual practices. And a challenging point here, of course, is Jupiter. So Jupiter is in your 1st house. Maybe a part of this is about how you might over-explain things, or how you might take on too many goals. When it comes to your aims and your goals, how you might go overboard. And so a part of it is about trying to strip it back slightly, to kind of look at it as, let's be more manageable. How can I make my goals more manageable? Could also be some challenge to do with information and facts, data. Plus, with Mercury also included in this, your ruler, there are significant conversations coming up here to do with your career. This is what we're seeing. And remember, Mercury retrograde just around the corner for you, Gemini. So there are going to be certain writings or contracts, agreements that you're going to, conversations that you're going to revisit over the next coming weeks. Maybe with employers, managers, bosses, professionals. Thank you, Gemini. And now on to Cancer. So Cancer, the new moon will happen in your 9th house. So the dream for you, well, it could be tied in with how it is that you wish to grow spiritually when it comes to your worldviews, your beliefs. Maybe the dream is tied to travel, somewhere that you want to visit or somewhere that you want to move to. Could also be significant just self-belief shifts that you want to sort of face or that you're fed up with and you want to change. And we kind of see this with Uranus involved in the 11th. This breakthrough that could happen regarding, hey, it could be grips, it could be a company you're a part of, it could be related to an organization you're a part of. Maybe there are some legal issues that you've been dealing with, Cancer. And those legal issues are tied to your company, tied to your firm. And so we could see this new moon as some adjustments being made. Or hey, you know what? This could be about dreams tied to your education, right? How you educate yourself, how you gain further knowledge. This could also be about certain publications or things that you want to broadcast with the world. So there could be even some breakthroughs tied to community, maybe teaming up with people, collaborating with people. So that could be interesting for some of you Cancerians out there. However, a challenging point here is Jupiter in your 12th. Be mindful of the narratives you tell yourself. Be mindful of the stories you tell yourself. But hey, equally, I think this gives you an opportunity to explore your fears, to explore certain unconscious drives and motivations that could lead to your self-undoing. So that within itself could be quite healing. Maybe even a part of it is about your own recovery. Perhaps there is a certain mental health issue that you're battling with and that you want to address around the new moon. Thank you so much, Cancer. And now on to Leo. So Leo, the new moon will happen in your 8th house. And what we see here is that, well, this dream is about connection, deep connection, emotional bonds, commitments, trust, maybe being able to trust people with what you're going through or being able to open up about what you're actually feeling on the inside. Hey, it could also be dreams tied to wealth, investments, shared resources, paying off debts. And then you feel really free because you are able to pay those things off. And to connect in with this and think about how Uranus is a part of it. Uranus is in your 10th. So we could see this as significant breakthroughs or like a change, a surprise, a shock tied to your career. Hey, this could be investments linked to career. This could be debts tied to career that you're able to pay off, or debts that you maybe dream of paying off, or investments that you dream of taking on and being a part of, right? So yeah, career is involved in this. Your professional lives is involved in this. This could also be about just the kinds of money that you want to make, you know, thinking about your future, your long-term goals, being successful here, Leo. A challenging point, however, around this new moon is the square to the 11th house. So Jupiter in the 11th, just be mindful of the kinds of views and opinions you take on from the group. Okay, I'm thinking about group mentalities, this cult-like influence perhaps. Be mindful of the feedback and the opinions that you take on as your own, and hopefully you can really reflect a little bit and think, is this something that I actually want, or is this something that I feel the group is pushing me to do? Hey, it could also be about a challenging point linked to your hopes and wishes for the future, maybe having to reprioritize a few things to make things a bit more obtainable. Thank you so much, Leo. And now on to Virgo. So Virgo, the new moon will happen in your 7th house. And the dream for you then, Virgo, well, I think it's tied to one-to-one relationships. It's that contract you really want. It's that partnership you want to be a part of. It's that proposal. It's that commitment. Yeah, it's some sort of agreement perhaps here. So we do see these themes come up. And then also with Uranus involved, hey, Uranus creating that sextile, there could be some sort of change or innovation, a shock factor, a surprise factor tied in with your publications, your teachings, your writings, your offerings. Could also be certain belief shifts that happen for self-worth reasons. And then a challenging point that you may face around this new moon is, well, Jupiter is in your 10th, right? And so there could be some challenges to do with how many projects you take on, maybe having to make a few different changes so that you don't overcommit. Also, there could be some challenge tied to communication in general. So that communication, the challenges within communication could be linked to partnerships and contracts. So just make sure that you have all the facts and information that you need, Virgo. Thank you, Virgo. And now on to Libra. So Libra, the new moon will happen in your 6th house. So the dream for you could be tied in with your services. It could be some sort of role or occupation, work that you've dreamt of doing. It could be a kind of service that you've dreamt of maybe offering other people. This could also be linked in with your health, your wellness, right? Your well-being, your physical body, these things. So we see these, of course, these intentions that you'll set regarding such areas under the new moon. But then with Uranus also in your 8th house making a sextile, I'm thinking to myself, is it that you're wanting to pay off certain debts, or you're wanting to clear your debts so that you can move forward with the work situation? Is it also perhaps that there are some surprises and changes and shocks tied to intimacy and emotional bonding? There could be some intimacy breakthroughs that happen where you feel less stressed, or hey, you could possibly feel more stressed. It just really depends on, what that surprise is. With Uranus, it can be very unexpected. But also we want to think about how there's a challenging point under this new moon, and the challenge lies in the 9th house, right? So Jupiter is in your 9th, creating a square to the 6th. And so I'm thinking to myself, perhaps a challenging point is tied to legal concerns, right? Legal matters that you want to resolve, that you want to finally get over with. Could also be about your teachings, your publications, your writings, things like that. How it is that you share and broadcast information with others. So maybe a part of it is seeing where you might go overboard when it comes to those areas, and then how you can reprioritize things as well. Plus, with Venus, your ruler, in the 7th house, yes, again, what we further see here are these conversations about partnerships, one-to-one relationships, certain agreements. And just remember, Venus is going to turn retrograde just a few days after the new moon, and so you will be revisiting these areas. Thank you, Libra. Now on to Scorpio. So Scorpio, with the new moon happening in your 5th house, the dream, right? So when we think about these dreams tied to Pisces, the dream is about more time off. The dream is about hobbies, leisure. Yes, maybe taking it easier, really thinking about what you do as a way to enjoy yourself and just have fun. Fun, play, tapping into your inner child, childlikeness, spontaneity within your romantic relationships. And we also notice with Uranus making the sextile to Pisces, there could be some surprises related to your relationships, to your commitments, your one-to-one partnerships. Maybe there is a significant breakthrough between you and your significant other, or it could be a breakthrough about a certain contract or an agreement, and that is freeing, right? That maybe sets you free so that you can have more time off possibly. Plus, there's a challenging point. So the challenging point is located in the 8th house. So with the square to Jupiter, I'm thinking to myself, okay, is it that there are challenges about your partner's money, how they might be going overboard with their spending, or there's a challenge about debts, there's a challenge tied to joint financial planning, and so maybe you're having to sort of just look over the facts, look over the data, so that you can keep yourself on the straight and narrow. And Mars, so Mars, one of your rulers, is of course in the 9th. So with this part of it, of course, it's still connecting in with your 5th. I am also thinking that a part of this new moon in Pisces will invite some greater exploration. I'm thinking to myself, is it that you're desperately wanting to travel? You're desperately wanting to go on vacation. You just want to break. You want to spread your wings and just do something outside of your comfort zone. This is what I'm getting from this. Maybe as well, just wanting to be done with a certain legal concern. Thank you so much, Scorpio. And now on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, the new moon will happen in your 4th house, So the dream for you under this new moon is about family. It's about home. It's about looking after yourself and your loved ones. It's about feeling secure within, exploring your roots. Maybe some childhood stuff will come up. Certain unconscious habits will be explored. Maybe a part of it is about as well just moving on from a family situation, a living situation that you're finally ready to make peace with. The dream could also be about moving, relocating, right? And with Uranus in your 6th house making a sextile to the Pisces influence in your 4th, we could see this as some kind of health breakthrough or a routine breakthrough. Could be significant changes or innovation tied to your routines and your habits, your daily practices, your services, rituals, things like that. And then I think it's also these things that are tied in with family stuff, with your living situation. So indeed, I think a part of this is about reprioritizing the everyday. And at the same time with Jupiter, your ruler, in the 7th house, this is where we see the challenging point. Indeed, we see challenges tied to partnership, challenges tied to agreements, seeing eye to eye, win-win outcomes. I'm thinking here about conflicts or tension between you and family members, or having to set certain limits between you and family members, walking away from certain situations. Again, we think about just possible distresses with family. But also this could also be, it could be related to relationships and partnerships, right? Where perhaps you are seeking greater freedom or you just need some space. Thank you, Sagittarius. And now on to Capricorn. All right, so Capricorn, the new moon will happen in your 3rd house. Therefore, the dream for you is about study. It's about speech. The dream for you is about how you communicate, and how you can even be creative, to be a creative communicator. I think about poetry, writing, art, just, all those creative areas, Capricorn. And hey, you know what? The dream could also be tied in with your siblings or your neighbors or your cousins or close friends, people within your social circle, right? So there could be some significant changes that you want to make. And then I'm also thinking about how Saturn is a part of this, right? Saturn is your ruler. So with Saturn involved, I'm thinking about certain responsibilities, certain commitments that you make to people, commitments that you make when it comes to a study of yours. And with Uranus then making the sextile to the Pisces placements in your 3rd, creativity is a big part of this, right? Creative breakthroughs, passion breakthroughs, interest breakthroughs, innovation may be tied to children or love, romance. Something could change or sort of waken you up to a new reality, a new possibility, a new way of seeing yourself or communicating or thinking. And then the challenging point, I suppose, is with Jupiter. So Jupiter is in your 6th, making a square to the new moon. So with that in mind, stress levels. This is where we see the challenging point when it comes to stress levels, nervousness, health concerns, overthinking, worrying yourself sick, maybe about work or the amount of tasks you have to do. So hopefully you can manage your stress levels and you can hopefully kind of strip it back a little bit so that you're not overdoing it, Capricorn. Yes, just make sure that you are looking after your mental health under this new moon, Capricorn. Thank you so much, Capricorn. And now on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, the new moon will happen in your 2nd house. The dream for you then, Aquarius, is so much about your resources, your finances, how you manage your money. The dream could also be tied in with your skills and your talents. And of course, with Saturn playing a role in this new moon, and Saturn is one of your rulers, Saturn says be disciplined, create structure, and think about the long term as well. And make things manageable, make things doable, be somewhat realistic about things, right? And then also, maybe this is about certain self-worth upgrades. This is about seeing that actually, yes, the things that you dream, or the money, I suppose, the money that you dream of earning, it's within your reach. You just got to believe in yourself, Aquarius. Now, as for Uranus. Uranus is making a sextile to your second house. So I do think that there is some sort of internal shift that could happen. You know, this could be an emotional breakthrough. This could be a new way of seeing yourself and how you feel about things. This could be about emotional attachments or detachments, perhaps, you know, detaching from a certain outcome, for example, separating yourself from chaotic family members, and just knowing your worth, right? Being able to set healthy boundaries. Seeing which kinds of perhaps relationship dynamics are just holding you back in life, Aquarius. Now, as for the challenging point, Aquarius, with Jupiter in your fifth house creating a square, yes, I'm thinking to myself that there could be challenges about your creative projects, or challenges tied to confidence or ego or individuality. Maybe a possibility here is to not get carried away too much by what it is that you want to express as an individual, right? Or maybe a part of it is about how much you take on creatively, what you can physically, realistically do creatively, and how that can at times create tension or conflict with your money, with your earnings. Thank you so much, Aquarius. And now on to Pisces. Okay, so Pisces, first things first, happy birthday to all of you solar Pisces out there. Now, the new moon will happen in your sign, okay? So you're very much the star of the show. And the dream then for you, Pisces, is so much about your individual path. This is about your direction, your aims, your goals, self-discovery. This is about your physical appearance as well, surrendering perhaps in some way, shape or form when it comes to your identity. This is about being able to maybe see that when it comes to something you visualize or dream of having, so we think about a goal, we think about it, an aim. My word, Pisces, you are remarkable at holding that vision. So you can see that as like a blessing, as a gift. And with Neptune, which is one of your rulers, Neptune is there, right? Neptune is there even with the North Node, So we are seeing significant shifts for you. I just think it's going to be really life-changing for you, Pisces, over the next couple of years, right? Yeah, we could see the trajectory of your life just change massively. Major identity changes, which is very exciting. And with Uranus also making a sextile to the Pisces influence here, and Uranus is in your third. Perhaps it is about mental breakthroughs. It's about how it is that you speak to yourself, communicate to yourself, and you're able to change things. Could also be that such communication shifts are linked to your self-worth or how you earn money. This could also be certain breakthroughs or surprises tied in with your writings, maybe being recognized for your writings, for your teachings, for example. And then the challenging point, I suppose, is with family. Yes, Jupiter is your other ruler, of course, and it's in the fourth, making a square. Therefore, the challenge could be about family stresses or hearsay, gossip. Could be just so much happening, chaotic energy, scattered energy happening with family. Or hey, this could also be about your own overthinking, your own sort of reading too much into things and becoming caught up in the thoughts and finding it difficult to sort of just calm your nervous system. So hopefully under this new moon, you can find ways to sort of practice greater stillness. Thank you so much, Pisces. And that concludes your horoscopes. I do hope that this video has prepared you for the new moon in Pisces. And if you did find it to be helpful, you can always buy me a coffee. And again, I just want to say thank you so much to the sponsors of today's video, Astopia. Make sure that you check them out. I will link them down below. Stay tuned for more, and I will catch you in the next one.